Hey guys, in this video I want to show you the current state of a plugin I'm writing for Maya. It's in alpha right now, and the working title is called Virtual Cinematography Tools. So let's get started. So if you've seen any of the other plugins I've written, I'm basically trying to make creating cameras and editing cameras really quick and intuitive, kind of from a previs and film workflow point of view. So here's a little scene I put together actually for a shoot I did recently, and hopefully it's generic enough we're not violating any NDAs or anything like that. So to go ahead and start using the plugin, it's up here on my shelf. You'll see that it actually docks to the sidebar, which is a new feature I took the time to learn how to add, and it's kind of keeps it really nice and part of the UI, and you can switch back to the attribute editor and the channel box and all that stuff, and it's always right here, so that's really cool. Some familiar stuff up here is the camera creator, though it has its own tab now. And again, you can pick the type of camera you want. So this was actually a C300 shoot. You can pick the focal length you want to start at, say 35. Current viewport, no aim, and instead of the Maya default size, which is really small, it's like 1 centimeter, we go to real world scale. And that makes it like more the size of a real camera. Another quick thing that I'm working on is I've integrated my feet to inches HUD into this. And so eventually I'll be able to flush out this entire tab with all the different tools that I want and kind of have it all in one place to make this prevising stuff a lot easier. So I'm going to create the HUD. It shows up down here. And right now this scene is actually in feet already. But what we can do is we can switch it to inches and back, which is really helpful. So what are some of the new things? So let's start picking some shots here. So we can turn this on just so we have a better idea of what the shot's gonna look like. So we're gonna frame up this wide shot, and I'll click create camera. And now what's new is that it switches to the camera you just made, and the gate's a little bit nicer looking actually, I think. And so you just immediately, after you click create, you're in the camera, you're viewing it, and there you're placed really quick. And then what I have down here now is a camera manager. And these are actually just built-in functions into Maya. They're just hard to find usually. They're just kind of like really buried in the interface. I didn't even know they were there until I started to actually go to write these scripts, only to realize that Maya already had them. So that was a lot easier. So the first button that's incredibly useful here is that instead of like going to the hotbox and then switching back to perspectives, you just click look through perspective. And it seems really simple, like not that big a deal, but when you're making a lot of cameras, honestly, that saves just a ton of time. So let's make one more camera. Let's make their medium, like that. I mean, this is obviously rough. So and then I'll say the 50 mil, and we create it. Frame on her. Kind of reposition this. Again, we're already looking in the camera we just made. Little things like that save a lot of time. And again, we back out, back to the perspective, and we have 2 cameras there. Pretty cool. The next thing that I added, or Maya already has, but I added to that camera manager, was the ability, go back to, where'd you go? Here we go. To, instead of having to like select the cameras and then do look through selected or find them in the outliner, which is kind of, actually this is really elegant, but I still find really slow and kind of clumsy. What they have already built in, I think it's only for 2014 and probably 2015, is this thing that cycles through the cameras. And so basically with look through perspective, you might leave in a view like this as you're doing your breakdowns. You can cycle through the different shots, the custom cameras, and then go right back to here, and that saves a lot of time. It's really quick. You know, I now that I have this plugin written, I basically can't work without it. So the last thing that's in this current version is the camera sequencer, and I'm not going to go into it just yet. It's kind of very, very alpha, but what it does is that if you're in this camera, if I click create shot, it just makes the shot in the camera sequencer. I don't have to go to the camera sequencer and go through all that toggle and everything, all those menus. I just click it. And maybe I'll do a demo of that later when I have the camera sequencer functions that I want written and fleshed out, but it makes it a lot faster. And then again, we've already seen this, but I put the feet to inches HUD here. And there's a couple more tools I'm going to write, again, that just make working in, for better or for worse, I work in the English imperial world in the States, so I have to deal with feet and inches, which no digital program wants to work in them. So I'm writing tools to make that like a lot easier, and I'm gonna try to build a library of commonly used lights and cameras and things to help stand in, and eventually go back to the perspective. I'll have some stuff built in, like chairs and stuff like this. So you don't have to model it all the time. It's just that it's really quick here. You just click it and you'll be like, add a chair, add a person. It'll just be really, really fast. And that's the idea. So you could iterate and be like, come up with things that don't work really quickly. You know, the first thought kind of stuff, and then, you know, be able to change it really quickly and come up with new stuff. And it's really fast and easy and less painful. For a quick preview of what I'm working on also right now is, for like my library of lights and that sort of thing, I've been using Visor, and it's pretty good. It's a little clunky, but eventually I think I'm just going to integrate all of this stuff into this program as well, or into that plugin. So like, for instance, if I wanted to import a 5K into the scene, I could just do that. And where are you? There's 5K. And we have a 5K. We could start placing it in the scene and trying to figure out, you know, it's built to scale. This is an Arri T5, or no, this looks like a 10K. I think I imported. Yeah, that looks like a 10K. That's the T12 then, 12K. And you know, you can put it in the scene, and you have a pretty good idea of how much footprint it's taking up, and that sort of thing. So that's the demo for now, guys. I will have this version of the script available to download if you want it. Again, it's very alpha. Most of the things work pretty well, but there's inevitably going to be some bugs. Cool. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.